All right. What is poppin', party pundits? Welcome to another episode of Pop Talk. This is episode 41. I am Professor Nims. I'm giving it up to my man, the Casual Rand.
What's up, though?
Boston Jared.
Peace.
And the inimitable Coach Dave. So we are going to jump right into, we had a fun-filled weekend of fisticuffs. I actually linked up with the Casual Rand. We were we decided to meet in our hometown to catch some of the fights with some of our brethren. But we're gonna start off with the sisters, our sisters going over across the pond and laying it down, coming back with all of the hardware. And you know who I'm speaking of. The GOAT, Clarissa Shields, in a hard-fought, unanimous decision against Savannah Marshall. And then a fight that I totally missed and did not pick, but it is your girl, the gorgeous goddess, Alicia Baumgardner, who put that thing on Michaela Mayer. So we're going to start off with, let's start off with Coach. I like to start off with him because he is probably one of the biggest advocates that we have on the channel when it comes to female boxing. He's somebody that's always really supported, and he helps to put women on our radar that we're not even aware of at that time. So, and then I'll go ahead. I'm gonna find some dry bird to eat over here because I'm definitely eating crow because I was the only one who did not get these picks right for the weekend.
Who'd you pick? You picked Mayer, right?
I did pick Mayer. I did.
That wasn't a crazy pick. A lot of people were on the fence about that fight.
I mean, it was a close fight.
It was. I mean, I thought.
Yeah, that's the one fight I was able to catch a little bit of.
Yeah. So, Coach Dave, were you? What did you think about our sisters going over there and handling their business? So let's start off with Alicia Baumgardner, and then we're gonna end with Clarissa Shields.
Yeah. So I do think it was a close fight. I was in the beginning, I was impressed with both fighters. I'll be honest with you, man. I thought, it was a close fight. I think Baumgardner in the beginning, man, just came out doing exactly what she needed to do. I think because she started looking for that big one shot, man, that's what let Mayers back into the fight. Yeah. I think towards the end of the round. But let me be clear on something, y'all. And I don't know what her corner was talking about. I don't care what nobody say. That girl Mayers did not want any part of a bunches of punches in combination Alicia Baumgardner. She did not want to be near that doggone just venomous, just monster strength in her punches. She could not handle that girl's strength. And I think an aggressive Baumgardner might have really hurt that girl, you know what I'm saying? Because Michaela Mayers she liked the rumble on the inside. You look at what she did with Hamadouche. Hamadouche is a strong fighter. She didn't want that with Baumgardner.
That's very interesting. She could not handle it with Baumgardner. So totally impressed with the fight. I think it definitely was close. Could have went either way, but it only. And let me be clear on this. It only could have went either way, just simply because Alicia Baumgardner kind of let off the gas and was looking for that overhand right in that one punch. Other than that, I'm telling you, dog, she dominated that daggone Michaela Mayers. I don't give a rat's butt what nobody say.
No, she came out super fast. Do you think that I thought she was maybe was catching her second win or anything? Do you think?
I don't know if it was a fatigue or anything, man. Cause I think it could have been because she was throwing those hard shots. I think she just went for the counter punch. She was looking for that punch, counter punch, instead of just
keeping the pressure, walking behind that jab, and when she got close, ripping off them 2-3 punches. Because every time she would do that, boy, Mayers would back up. She hit Mayers in the body a couple of times. But Mayers didn't want none of that strength, that power. That's just it for me, man. On Shields, hey, look, I'm gonna be quick with this one. I kept telling y'all, Shields is gonna put on a clinic, and she just boxed and beat that girl across the doggone ring, knocking her off balance, slipping punches, catching punches, was never really, in trouble. The volume of punches, the speed, and the skill set of Clarissa, was just, it was overwhelming. It was overwhelming. I honestly, and being generous, I may have gave Savannah Marshall maybe 2 rounds, maybe. So that's it. I thought it was beautiful, man. I'm glad the sisters brought the belt back.
That's on that fight than I was.
Yeah, let's go to Kajaran because he actually had Shields losing that fight. But first, kind of give your insights on the Baumgardner.
I could have saw her losing. I mean, it was just that Shields. Like she.
Well, hold on, but but let's.
I'm just asking. I didn't have her losing. I wanted her to win. I picked her to win. But during the fight, man, when she went against, she would just naturally get forced to the ropes, and she didn't do shit against the ropes. She just kept going against the ropes. Her coaches had to tell her to stay off the fucking ropes. When she was on the ropes, she was getting tagged. And, I mean, she was some, but she was getting tagged, and she wasn't giving anything back.
I thought she was doing good.
Said, nah.
I thought she was doing good work.
Wasn't giving like some fighters can fight off the rope. Clarissa Shields was not.
Oh no, I disagree. I think it doesn't look good, but because it wasn't necessarily that it was even on the ropes. It was that she was walking herself back into a corner, right? So a corner is a little bit different.
And when she went in that rope, when she went in the corner or on the rope, she wasn't throwing nothing. She didn't she wasn't trying to do a Mayweather or whatever.
You don't think so?
Fire back. She
showed good skill.
She was just there getting hit. But I say she won. I say she won. But I want to go to Baumgardner first. Baumgardner, I was like, look, I think it's either the 4th and the 5th or the 5th and the 6th. That's when it seemed like she hit a wall. And then, like what you said, Dave, she was just trying to counter at that point. And she, Mayers was just tagging her with that jab. You know what I'm saying? Her thing was like, stay keep the distance, just keep beating her ass jab. Now, it got close. You know what I'm saying? It got real close until the 7th. The 7th is when Baumgardner I thought she could have actually put her ass down. Yeah. I watched it again. The 7th round is when she hit him with some rock'em sock'em. And then like the 8th and 9th were close. And then like I think Baumgardner lost the 10th. But you know what I'm saying? I still had her winning. I talked about this was like, what's so cool about it, like the whole thing, the cool about it, I mean, I'm at work. I went to work and one of my colleagues is a female and she was like, her and her fiance are big into the boxing also. So we sat there and had a debate also. They had Baumgardner losing, but I was like, nah, you can't give up the first half of a fight and then think you just going to win off of jabs on the second half.
Did you ask them what the scoring criteria was for boxing?
Nah, I didn't ask.
Because a lot of people, a lot of fans, if it gets serious, because a lot of fans, and this is for some of our younger viewers who did not grow up with the great late Harold Letterman, who would always go over the scoring criteria before the beginning of each fight. Yeah. It is clean, hard punching, effective aggression, ring generalship, and defense. Just because you touching somebody or maybe outlanding somebody does not necessarily mean you're landing the cleaner, harder shots. And it doesn't mean you're winning on the other 4 categories either. A lot of casual fans judge fights off of who's outlanding who, which isn't totally illogical or unreasonable. It's just not the scoring criteria.
Yeah, and sorry, Randy. Go ahead. One thing I gave credit to Baumgardner is like every time she got hit with a strong jab, she made sure she got those points back with like a good 2-piece. So like she'll get hit with a jab, but she'll come back with a 1-2. So I didn't see, like I was listening to the commentators earlier today, and I was like, man, they were straight dick riding Myers because they had her winning like 8-2. And then so I was like, nah,
Really?
this can't be right. And
No,
then
that can't be right, man. Because
they had
the fight that we watched, they had a winning the
6-4. They had Myers winning 6-4. And I was like, I still don't see that. I don't see that at all. But you know what I'm saying? She did have a clean, crisp jab, like from 4 to 7, but 7 she got rocked. And then from 7, 8, and 9, I thought she lost them rounds, but then Myers won the 10th. So it was a good fight, man. And then I wish Baumgardner would have been like, you can run it back, but I understand that she's trying to be unified, so she needs to go ahead and get that unification. But then maybe after the unification, run that back, man. That'll be a great fight to watch again, man.
Well,
yeah,
it's the intelligent decision to make. I think that if she becomes undisputed or unified, she could get more for that rematch than she could with whatever belt she's got now. So it's probably business-wise a smart thing to do.
Clarissa Shields, man. I mean, I think she won. She didn't dominate like Dave was saying. I think she punched out late in the fight, and then she was just resting on them on the ropes a little too much, man, to be dominant. To me.
Wow. Hey, man. I don't know what you was watching, Randy. I don't know what you was watching.
So we'll say, but let's bring in Boston Jared. So let's get your take on the female.
Look, I didn't watch. Like I said, I had to work, unfortunately, on Saturday. I was speeding up 95 to try to get home to catch the fights that I did catch, but I was unable to catch Savannah Marshall and Clarissa Shields. I was able to watch the last half of Baumgardner and MAYER, and again, only watching rounds 5 through 10 or 6 through 10. The impression I got was Michaela MAYER employed a very, very kind of amateur style approach to that fight, where she was touching with the jab, landing with the jab, but not necessarily landing good hard jabs or jabs that looked like it was affecting Baumgardner. Baumgardner would respond with big, hard shots, similar to the way that you will see Canelo do sometimes with guys, with the boxers he's in with, will touch, land, and Canelo responds with big, heavy shots that may not necessarily land cleanly, but are eye-catching shots that the judge is able to see. And the punches that Baumgardner did land cleanly, they shifted Michaela MAYER's whole body. I mean, it was
whole body.
Man, made her lean all the way off to the to the right. So the one thing that I was going to ask Dave about, because I haven't watched I haven't watched MAYER a lot, or much of Baumgardner, is what did you see stylistically, Dave? Would you say that Baumgardner is somebody who is more groomed to fight a professional style of fight? I saw her off her back foot a whole lot, looking to counter, whereas MAYER, you can kind of tell she's got that amateur pedigree where she can come through and throw lots of volume, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, where Baumgardner is sitting there waiting to counter and land the bigger, harder shots. What do you make of Baumgardner stylistically versus MAYER stylistically?
No, man, I honestly think that they both are true pro fighters, man. And what you got to remember is just that, we each might have our own, style of boxing that we like, but make no mistake about it, that counter puncher coming off the back foot, that's just a style of boxing. Now, with MAYER, I can't say she is, still caught up into that amateur fighting, because in that amateur fighting, man, it's just
Yeah, I think Marshall shows more. Early on, Marshall showed more than that. Not Marshall, but Shields showed more of that amateur style than Michaela MAYER, right? So even though with women, the only problem is that they only have 2 minutes.
Right. That's what I was saying.
Right, but even in the 2 minutes, man, if you watch a lot of Michaela MAYER's fight, she is a controlled, just high volume, technical fighter, man. She likes to rumble on the inside. So I don't think it's it's amateur because, you know, I can see a distinctive approach when Mayers is fighting, man. A prime example, I'm trying to tell you that Hamadou, like, but in the amateurs, it's like you just trying to get it in. You trying to get it in. But this woman will bang your body. She will hit you in your sternum and bring that thing up to your head, twist that hook off, and she pop that head out. It is focused and it is deliberate, even though it's just a high volume puncher. So they're both still pro styles, man. Baumgardner, though, I think she just got to show some versatility, and she got to not be a one-dimensional fighter. And if that woman can do what she did those first rounds throughout the duration of the fight, man, she gonna be hell to deal with.
Now, let me ask you this, Dave. The one thing I noticed, and I pointed this out, she's off her back foot a lot. Now, I don't know if that was the case the first half of the fight, but the second half of the fight looked like she was on her back foot a lot. Do you think she would have had more success if she was able to get on her front foot more, and when she was able to back Mayer up with big, hard shots, claiming that real estate, cutting the ring off, and putting Mayer on her back foot as opposed to letting Mayer recover and reset and go back to the center of the ring?
All right. So let me take that terminology first, because on the back foot, on the front foot, whether I'm going forward or whether I'm going backwards, my full weight is never necessarily on my front foot, because it can make me lean and reach with the jab, you know. So even though I'm going forward, predominantly of my weight is on that back leg, and I'm sticking that jab and walking it to you still. So I understand what you're saying by on the front foot. So for me, my style of teaching, yes, Baumgardner should have pressed with the jab more to get on the inside, where she would have whooped Michaela's ass even better. Like Randy said, that 7th round at Michaela's fight game on that inside. Michaela cannot handle that girl. So yeah, she would have been more devastating and dominating had she kept pressing on that jab and working behind that jab.
Man, I think two factors with that. One, after the 4th round, I think she was kind of gassed. And the second, y'all forget Michaela Mayer had like what a 4 to 6 inch reach advantage, and she had a pumping jab that'll keep your ass on your back foot for a while.
Yeah, but one thing I like with Baumgardner, she was doing a good job of taking her head off the line at times and really avoiding that jab. And that's where the rounds that I was watching, I mean, I'm giving Baumgardner rounds on defense and clean hard punching and effective aggression. On the rounds I saw.
I saw it during the middle of it. I thought Michaela, she didn't really put a lot of damage on her, but I thought she was able to control the middle rounds.
Yeah,
really off her jab. Like she was
that jab, and that's why Baumgardner was on her back foot. She was trying to, you know what I'm saying, slip that distance. You know what I'm saying, get out of range of them jabs.
It was a combination.
I think she was waiting to land that big hard shot that Dave was talking about. I don't think anything Mayer was throwing bothered her.
I think she rested up and it was like, hey man, you need to get back on your shit. And then on the 7th, she went back in attack mode. But like 4 or 5.
If you get a long, stiff jab from a good boxer, that's gonna bother you. It's just like if you're coming in and that pop, that's just like how do you think that somebody like Tyson Fury in the first fight was able to keep Deontay Wilder at bay?
Yeah, but you're talking about a guy with a 50-pound weight advantage.
I'm talking about the first fight. It was just basically he wasn't even stepping into the jab. He was just doing this pop. But like every time you want to start your offense, you get smacked in the face. Then you have to reset. You come in. I don't
think that Baumgardner was bothered by Mayer's jab as much as Wilder was bothered by Fury's jab. But I watched the first fight.
But she was bothered by it. She was bothered.
Fair enough. And again, y'all have the advantage. I did not see the fight in its entirety, so y'all could be right. I got to go watch this in its entirety, so I'm not in a position to argue with y'all. So.
All right, so we're gonna move on for this. But
Dave has something to wrap up.
Just one other thing, man. That I want to say. This is just for more so a historical thing, and I haven't finished looking at all of it yet.
but I'll probably be ready to come back maybe next week when we do it. So let me say this about these two girls real quick, about these two fights. These 4 fights, in particular, the 2 that fought, Mayers and Baumgardner, Savannah and Marshall, I'm willing to say that those 2 bouts has the potential to be one of the most dynamic trilogies if they let it happen. Definitely among female boxers, but just within boxing period because of all that animosity. So I think Baumgardner is right to go ahead on and get this undisputed, and then whoever said get the undisputed and give it back to Mayers and fight her again, bro, that thing will be off the chart. And Clarissa Shields and the way that fight went with Savannah Marshall, that'll be off the chart. So I just think it has the makings to be one of the greatest, just trilogies, man. Both fights, man. If they really go at it, man. That's
and boxing rivalries, right? Because we could see them just win both the fights, and they might be even more impressive. Right? And speaking of Baumgardner and Shields, and one of the reasons I said that is that I didn't appreciate Micaiah Mayer's unsportsmanship and the way that she acted. She pouted. She didn't want to really congratulate. I think after a little bit, They did. They showed it. Yeah, they showed it. But I mean, come on. Is this like? It's not even a woman. We see men like do this at the time. It's just that this was a hard fought fight. I mean, but but even when they reconciled, she was outside of the ring. She didn't go and congratulate her or do this and say, "Let's do this again. Let's run this back." She basically
a competitor. I like that shit. That's one thing I don't like about women's sports. Women's sports sometimes.
This had nothing to do with women. If this was a man, even with like Deontay, I didn't like Deontay Wilder how he reacted to Tyson Fury and his unsportsmanlike.
Right.
If women like men do this a lot too. It's just like Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua threw a hissy fit. It had nothing to do with women's sports. I just think that is a with this sport here it's blood, sweat, and tears, and usually there is this kind of kinship that you kind of build once you go through that, because I was telling them you especially with them hard fought fights, you leave a little piece of yourself in that ring every time you get in there.
Yeah, but she's a competitor though, man. I don't understand what you're saying from a sportsmanship standpoint. And if I had kids or if I was coaching up an athlete, I would always encourage them to do that. But having I get it. And having competed in just shit like football, sometimes you get your ass whipped. Last thing you want to do is, hey, great job, on that.
Yeah, I forget. He from Boston, so he like Tom Brady when Tom Brady goes and like cries and does well and do this.
Well, Brady's not from Boston, to be clear, but you're right. But hey, look, the point is, she's a competitor. She's not used to losing either. So
where is Tom Brady from then?
He's from California.
But where do we know him from? Where do you break his legacy?
From the Patriots. But the point is, competitors.
He was gonna say I don't know. You're gonna say Tom Brady. You're gonna say I don't know.
No, I didn't say I don't know. I said from the Patriots. The point is, competitors don't like to lose. And McKenna is a competitor.
You should take up for your man. But the thing is, that the way that he goes about and those hissy fits, that stuff that he does, that stuff is a bad mark for him.
This is a boxing show we talk about here. This is a boxing show, and we'll come back to it because Darrell did the same exact shit. Darrell ain't Darrell
came back and made a video.
Darrell was concussed.
He came back into the video.
Darrell didn't know where he was at.
He was concussed.
Darrell wasn't that concussed.
He wasn't concussed.
Hey, start the next segment.
But with that said, I want to remind everybody to go and like and subscribe. This does a lot for our algorithm. We are just bringing our show back to YouTube. We have a producer. We have some graphics. We have some different kind of segues and stuff into the show. But we need those followers. So with that said, this is Professor Nim signing out for Coach Dave. The Casual Rand.
Peace out.
And Boston Jared.
Peace.
And we are.